Hi everyone, I'm Susanna with Hypnosis Haven, and I'm just wrapping up another online session with a stroke survivor client. When I get calls for the consultation for these stroke survivor clients, they always ask the question, and I don't think I mentioned it in my stroke survivor video, how did I get into this? The program that I took for stroke survivor hypnosis was created by a gentleman that had survived a stroke. And his story of recovery is really amazing. And having been someone that was told by doctors that I wasn't going to be able to do a lot of things that I found myself doing over and over again, I know that sometimes what the doctors say it's going to be or not be might not necessarily be the case. I'm not saying I go against medical advice. We do work with doctors, but sometimes your mind is stronger than what someone else is going to give you credit for. So, what got me into stroke survivor hypnosis was nothing short of divine timing. A few years ago, my younger brother suffered a stroke. The stroke he suffered was quite severe. I'm not going to get into personal details of his story. I'm just going to say that I got a phone call while I was out running errands. And from that moment on, my eyes were opened to what an experience of a stroke does, not just to the individual, but to the family. I live out on the East Coast. My family's on the West Coast, so they weren't aware of the time difference. And they called me. I was out running errands, and I get a phone call that basically my brother was in the emergency room. He had suffered a stroke, and at this point we needed to make a decision whether or not to allow the doctors to remove a 5x7 part of his skull to stop the swelling or not. And basically the choice was remove that part of the skull and he will be a vegetable but survive, or don't remove it and he will maybe be a vegetable but most likely will die. So we had 3 hours to decide. And I had to call my parents to give them this news. And we had to make this decision. And who makes this decision? This is one of those things where it really helps to have your medical paperwork and directives and a will and all of these things in order, but we're so young that we wouldn't think to do those things. And we should. We should. So basically, I had to fly to California and be there with my family, and the whole thing, it just really pushed me. It woke me up. My parents weren't prepared for this. My father had just suffered a stroke of maybe a month or so before, and his stroke wasn't as bad, and my younger brother had suffered a very severe stroke. And so this just changed a lot of things for the family. And while I was there, I got an email, because life keeps going. I got an email from a school of hypnosis offering stroke survivor hypnosis. And I immediately signed up for the course, and I devoured it, because to me, knowledge is power. Information is power. So I learned everything, and I immediately started applying it. And I was there going with my brother to physical therapy, and I was seeing how the process was, and I can see how overwhelming it is, not just for the person that had the stroke, but for the person taking care of the stroke survivor, and how life changes and how you still have to maneuver through the world and life, but it's been such an impact. And there are so many things that happened to the stroke survivor. Even, my brother was told he wasn't going to be able to walk again, and he walked right out of the hospital when his time was done in the hospital. But going in for physical therapy and being at this center, and he was at a fantastic place, one of the best in the region, but it was still not everything. And I realized that there was nothing really addressing the mental part, the dealing with the life changes, dealing with the understanding, hey, you can't drive anymore, And then the anger that comes from these feelings of realizing you can't drive anymore, you can't go to work anymore. And it's not just anger, because there are a lot of people there that were providers for their families that now had to accept and realize that they're no longer going to be able to provide for their family. The family that they wanted to have, that they were planning on having, is basically gone and done. They can't have children anymore because now they are physically incapacitated. So there's a lot to cope with, and the family that's standing by to help has a lot to cope with too. And it's hard. It's hard for everyone that's involved. My mother is a strong woman of faith. We call her the prayer lady, and it helps. Definitely it helps. It has helped her more than anybody can imagine, but it doesn't always make it easy. There are still struggles. There is still a lot to deal with, and the realization that recovery might take longer than expected. There's so much to it. So, what I do, how I help with this, because this doesn't undo the stroke, by all means, it does not, but it helps the survivors come to terms. It helps them perhaps recover a sense of taste, a sense of smell. It helps with memory. It helps with constipation. It helps with dealing with everyday life and the interactions and the outbursts that might happen. It helps in being able to walk without leaning, to be able to cross the floor when there is a difference between the hardwood floor and a carpeted area, when there's that moment of pause. There's also an allowing for the body to relax, because the body has suffered as well, and it goes into a regressive state where it feels it's trying to protect you. It's trying to protect you from a fall. So you go back into that fetal position, and now your arms are up here, or just an arm is up here. And maybe the body needs to be told it's okay, you can let go. The moment of trauma has passed. Allow for comfort. Allow for the tissues. Allow for the muscles to release and let go. And sometimes that's all it takes. Hearing that and being in hypnosis, when you hear that, makes all of the tightness in the neck and the shoulders just let go. And doing that, experiencing that, releasing and that allowing repeatedly, allows for physical therapy to be more beneficial, to have more progress. So that way you're not just going in and the therapist is saying, relax, relax. It's not about relaxing. It's about allowing, and allowing comfort. So maybe suggest that to your physical therapist, that they change the word from relax to allow, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference in many different scenarios where it's not a matter of relaxing, but that's the word that everyone uses. However, there is actually a suggestibility type, the emotional suggestibles. They don't like to hear relax. If they're in hypnosis and I say relax, then it becomes a whole analytical thing of, what do you mean by relax? I am relaxed. What more do you want? It can really affect the outcome. So try allow. Consider hypnosis to help with that experience, to help you go deeper and to allow the muscles to relax and experience greater comfort. Allow the muscles to let go. Allow the muscles to release and move past that moment of shock and trauma. So that's what got me into hypnosis for stroke survivors. Everyone has different outcomes, but what I do notice with my clients is that they feel more okay. There isn't so much heaviness emotionally. There isn't that constant self-talk that I'm broken, I'm never going to be the same, everyone looks at me this way, or they think of me this way, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. There is progress, and there can be change. There is improvement. It doesn't matter if the stroke was a few weeks ago or a few years ago. I've had clients come up even 7 years post-stroke. There is recovery. One of my stroke survivor clients from this year, we've been doing sessions. We started sessions once a week, then it moved to every other week. Now it's once a month. And this client went from walking with a cane in June to running a marathon in November. I believe, no, it was October. No, it was early September. Sorry. It's already December. So improvement happens. Improvement can happen. I mean, to go from walking with a cane to running a marathon and being actually 45 seconds short of where they were before the stroke, pre-stroke, that's just wow. So allow yourself the opportunity to experience hypnosis and implement that into your wellness and recovery journey. For more information, visit my website, hypnosis-haven.com. We can schedule a consultation session. We can do it online if that helps. I know for my international clients, that's how we do it, just so that we can make sure that we have the proper setup and understanding. And we do these sessions twice a week, helps for 30 minutes. Sessions for more than 30 minutes tend to be too much for stroke survivors, so we do 30-minute sessions. And then you also get recordings to listen to help reinforce not just what we do in the session, but an overall recovery of all the other challenges and the things that you need to help you get back to you as best as you possibly can. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Again, my website is hypnosis-haven.com, and I'm at Hypnosis Haven on just about all the social media outlets. I know for sure Facebook and Instagram, and I don't really get on anything else. So find me there, find me on my website or here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.